my ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond. Welcome to episode 15 of 82 Points of View with Dorian. I'm your host, Dorian, obviously. Thank you to everybody who's been watching us on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you for everybody who's been engaging with the content on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, where we're releasing this content. I have a plan, but I ain't really rolled it out like that yet, so I appreciate all y'all that's been engaging with it. And shout out to everybody listening to episode 14, which hasn't hit the market yet, but that was my first time flying solo. Shout out to John Ricker, College Shirt on Instagram. But that was my first time flying solo, man, doing this podcast thing, and I got a lot of positive reviews. A lot of people said they liked it, and they liked the more intimate setting, and said it flowed well. So it gave me the confidence to continue to do this. And that goes into what I immediately want to talk about was Bad Boys 3 came out this week. And I haven't had a chance to see the movie yet because we just moved to Houston. Can't find a babysitter for Nova yet, so we just haven't had a chance to go to movies. But I have been watching a lot of the press run. That's a great thing about now with social media, specifically YouTube, is that you can really, really engage with the content of major marketing of when these projects come out. So I've been watching like Will and Martin go on a lot of interviews. And the thing about Will Smith, man, more so than anybody, like I think Will is probably the best motivational speaker of a Hollywood actor or somebody that's of serious influence because he's super transparent about himself. And even when the character is on, like, you know, when like Will's on, especially you've been watching him since like the Fresh Prince days or even when he was rapping, like the character is on, but you still can get the meat of his heart and his genuine energy. And he was on Sway in the Morning, shout out to Sway. And he was talking about that he was really determined to make it, and that a lot of people were doubting him, and they were asking him advice about what do you mean, like what advice can you give to anybody behind you that wants to come up and be an actor or a rapper or whatever. And Will was saying that just like you got to believe in yourself because the shit is just so far-fetched, right? Like your family and your friends are just not going to believe. And if you do things expecting other people to come on and believe, it's just not going to happen for you. It's going to lead to a lot of frustration. And so that is like a really, really big thing that I think a lot of people don't think about, because I dealt with that when it came to starting Group 82, or when it came to started for me rapping, or started for me making music videos or doing all these things. Like the amount of pushback I got from my immediate circle, from people that supported me when I wanted to be a college basketball coach, from people that supported me when I wanted to go into like pharmaceutical sales, even though I never did that, from people that supported me in everything else that I wanted to do, like when I wanted to be a bouncer, or when I had to be a bouncer, or when I went to college, or when I delivered pizzas, or like when I was selling suits, like when I was selling porn, like when I was in college, like I came across a stash of porn. Not gonna say how I came across it, but got it and started flipping it on campus. Like all those people supported me doing shit that was like legal and slightly illegal. But when it came time for me to want to really take this shit to the next level, those same exact people just weren't as receptive. And I'm a person that doesn't really give a fuck what people think, but that shit like takes you aback, because y'all support me through all this other shit, but now I'm really, really focused on this. And now y'all don't want to support me. And not only that, y'all talking shit. Like, it can affect you. And no matter what it is that you do, whether you want to make music, whether you want to be a chef, whether you want to be sell mansions as a real estate agent, whether you want to be a fitness influencer, a model, an actor, a basketball player, there's going to be people who are going to talk shit. There's going to be people who don't believe. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, everybody's going to have an opinion. And the thing now with how connected the world is with social media, you're going to see and hear everybody's opinion. And we're all human. And so that shit's going to affect you, but you just cannot let that shit stop you. Like, even me, like I look at myself right now, like it's 2020, like it's January 19th. Shit. I was like 17th. Goddamn. It's January 19th, 2020 right now. And at this time 6 years ago, I was really dedicated. I was like, yo, I'm about to start making music. Like, my mind was made up. I was just waiting to get that next check. I was going to buy Logic. I was going to buy my MacBook Pro. I was waiting to get my tax refund check back. Like, I was really locked in. This is what I was going to do. And if you would have told me 6 years later that like I would have millions of streams, but I wouldn't be signed, that I would be doing my music full time, but I wouldn't be a millionaire. I would have done a show, but I wouldn't be on tour. I would have fans, but it wouldn't be millions of fans. If you'd have told me that, I don't know if I would have kept going. I don't know if I would have did it. And all this shit takes a lot longer than you think it does. Like everything you do takes a lot longer than you think it does. Like there's some people right now who are in college and they've been in college for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years on and off. It's taking a lot longer than you thought it would, but you're going to finish, right? It's the same thing I got to think about with my career, right? Like y'all have no idea how bad I want to be a touring artist. Like I really want to be a touring artist. But if you look at my effort and the things I place my energy towards, I don't place my energy towards that. Like I don't place my energy towards one day. I don't place my energy towards right now. Let me put myself in a position to be a touring artist. Like I don't do that. I place my energy towards Group 82 and how we can continue to be profitable so I can survive and feed my family, right? And so even before that, when I was working, like I was putting energy towards it, but not like what you would think for somebody who wants to be a touring artist. And as bad as I want to do it, the level of sacrifice within the active sacrifice that I'm already making being an entrepreneur is just, that's not a mitigated risk. Like that's not a risk that I can take. Like Group 82 makes money, right? And it consistently makes money every single month. I can't take and Group 82 is me. Like I'm Group 82. I got a lot of help. I got people that work for me, independent contractors, interns, and they do a fantastic fucking job. But like you ever watch Shark Tank? I know I talked about that last episode. I'm talking about it right now. If you ever watch Shark Tank and they talk about how the business is just that person, it's just about you, right? And that's why they don't want to invest. That's Group 82. Like Group 82 is Dorian right now. And so there's no one else that is as passionate. And so when I'm not giving maximum effort every day to Group 82 suffers. And I've seen that like literally within the past 4 weeks. And so it's a very tough thing for me to think about that. And if y'all watching on YouTube, I'm wiping sweat off because it gets hot. Y'all know I am. But it's very tough for me to think about that I have to shift my energy into something that is not going to be profitable for probably another 24 months. That's tough. That's really tough for me to think about. And so I don't want to do that. I almost can't do that. It's like you become an entrepreneur to be free. And that's almost like the trap inside of the freedom. Because once you start making money, like you want to continue to make money. You need to continue to make money. And you start doing the things that make you money and you like double down on that. Yet, even though your interests might change or your goals or your dreams or your values might change, you still have to focus on making money. Is that selling your soul? Like, am I robbing myself when I do that? Or am I making a smart decision for me and my family, right? Like, am I not being true to who I am? Or am I being true to who I am by being a responsible mate and being a responsible father? And that's the battle. That's the internal battle that entrepreneurs deal with, that no one fucking talks about. And it happens all the time, all over the country. Like nobody really talks about entrepreneurship in that way and the battle between profitability and innovation and creative and being fearless, right? Because to be an entrepreneur, there's a baseline level of fearlessness. But as you continue going, like you have to continue to be fearless. And it's very difficult when you start off as an entrepreneur and you weren't making any damn money. And now you've developed a system that's making you money. And you want me to go do something again that's not going to make money because I know how long it took me to make money on the initial thing that I wanted to make money on. And now I'm doing it. You want me to press reset again? Like you want me to get all the way through Mario and I'm fighting Bowser and you want me to go back to level 1 before I even get a chance to fight Bowser to beat the game. Like you want me to get all the way to the NBA finals and before game 1, like nah, I'm gonna just sit this whole shit out and then I'll just suit up in the preseason. Like it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And so that is something that as you start scaling as an entrepreneur, like I'm in the middle of it. And I think that's the great thing about this platform, 82 Points of View. Like, y'all not getting somebody that's already made it. Y'all getting somebody that's in the process, right? And that's doing good shit. And so y'all get to see, like, and hear my thoughts. It's like, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I know we need to pivot. We're working on pivoting. I'm putting a team together. I'm putting a staff together while I still am trying to pump out enough content to consistently keep everybody engaged. Like, I have a video team right now, but it's short staff because we're in the middle of hiring a bunch of new people. We're in a transitional period. So because I'm not putting out as much content, we aren't getting as many sales. We're not getting as many sales. Like, we don't have as much money, as much working capital to do stuff, like even living capital, like money for me to just do regular shit. Like, I'm in the middle of that right now. Like, I'm in the middle of it. Like, I'll just be even more transparent. Like, since I've been an entrepreneur this week, it's probably been like the brokest I've been since I've been an entrepreneur. And what's funny is 6 weeks ago, that week was the most money I ever made as an entrepreneur. That's how this shit is, man. That's literally how it is. Like, you can go from making fucking $12,000 in 3 days, and then you might not make $1,200 in 10 days, right? Like, that's just how that's how entrepreneurship is. That's how it is. And I don't know anybody that's really talking about this shit that's living it in the moment. And do you have the heart for that? Do you have the stomach for that? Like, there are some of y'all right now that every 2 weeks, you getting $1,000. It might be like $980, but you getting every 2 weeks, automatic. I'm getting that, right? When you an entrepreneur, man, you don't know. That $980 could come over the 3 week period, or $980 could come in 5 minutes. You don't know, right? But that's the risk you take when you want to be free. You want to be free with your time. You want to be financially free. You want to be free with your expression of things that you can do. Like, that's the risk that you take. And a lot of people don't have the stomach for that risk. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, man. So many people are like trying to make this entrepreneurship thing like this is what you got to do. And if you ain't really about it, you a pussy and all that shit. Yo, this shit is fucking hard, bro. Like, it's hard. It's hard as fuck. I mean, pause, but it is. And so, like, if you ain't got it, I get it. It's not, that don't make you weak. That don't make you a quitter. That doesn't make you somebody that's like a low achiever. It's just, you got to be able to take mitigated risk. And that's the reason why a lot of successful entrepreneurs come from different cultures and backgrounds than mine usually. And that's not saying that black people can't be entrepreneurs, but like, when you have that safety net of your parents are going to give you X amount of dollars, or you got a trust fund, or your parents might invest into an S&P 500 index fund when you were younger, and now you can cash that shit out. Or like, when you are able to do these things, it allows you to have the comfort to take risk. Like, y'all hear me talk about this all the time. When you have someone that's playing defense for you, or that has played defense for you, you're allowed to play offense, right? Like me, like in my life, my parents were middle class. They were first generation middle class. And so everything was new to them, right? They were trying to survive, but it was a level of survival over what they already knew. Like my grandmother's, it was basic, like bottom of the barrel survival, like food stamps that we don't eat, right? Like walking home, we might get robbed or we might have to kill a motherfucker. Like that was how my parents were raised, but they raised me middle class, right? And so like, I knew I had food on the table. I knew I had a roof over my head. I knew I had clothes on my back. I knew I had lights. I knew we had heat most of the time. I knew we had air, all that shit. But I knew like I wasn't going to get a new car when I turned 16, right? I knew that like I didn't come from money. I wasn't rich. We weren't poor, but I wasn't rich, right? I knew that I was going to have to make my own way. I knew I was going to have to live at a higher level than my parents did. And I knew I was going to be able to pass it at a fairly early age if I focused on that. And so when that's the case, when you're building your own, like I didn't have any defense. I had to play defense for myself. Like my parents didn't have no money saved away from me when I turned 18. They didn't have that. They didn't do that. They didn't have no money for my college. Like I went into debt. Like the moment I turned 18, 6 figures in debt. You know what I mean? And so And I came out of school during a recession. So like I didn't have nothing. Every paycheck for me like was survival. Like this is the money I have to eat. This is the money I have to survive until XYZ. Like I didn't have a savings. I didn't have a Roth IRA. I didn't have money I was putting away. Right. Like even right now, like I told you, like this is the brokest I've been since I've been an entrepreneur, like this week. And who knows, probably going to change next week. Might be the richest. This is how shit is. But like I'm still able to put money away. Right. I still have like if it really got down to it. Okay, yo, let me call the people that I'm investing with. Like, yo, let me take that out. I don't want to. I'm not going to have to. But I have that. Right. I was able to play a little bit of defense. But when you're building your own defense, when you're building your own fortified wall, it's totally different than when someone has already done that for you. And it allows you to take risk, right? Like the other day, so I've been listening to like a lot of podcasts, and Earn Your Leisure is one of my favorite podcasts. If you haven't listened to that, go to their Instagram page. Tell them that I sent you at Dorian Group 82 on Instagram. I really enjoy their podcast, Earn Your Leisure. And so they had a guy on there, his name is Max Maxwell. And I went to his Instagram. He's doing a pretty good job too. So go to his Instagram, Max Maxwell, tell him I sent you at Dorian Group 82. And so that's what I do. Shout people out. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's like, yo, I'm not mad to shout them out. I don't know them niggas. Them niggas ain't nothing. I ain't with all that, right? Them niggas inspire me. Like, I'm going to show the love back. All I ask is if you go check their stuff out, just tag them and let them know that I sent you. But like, I'm listening to, and this dude, he does wholesaling, like, and wholesaling with houses. And basically, like, he goes and in neighborhoods that he knows and basically finds rundown cribs that we might drive past or crack houses or whatever the fuck they are, and he calls and sees what the deal is. Because a lot of times these houses might have been passed down in an inheritance. Somebody might have died and just not gave a shit about the house. This house might be located in Indianapolis, Indiana, but the people that actually own the house, they live in Miami, Florida. They just want nothing to do with it. And you can call them, you can get the house up off of them. And there are certain ways you can do the contract where you can get the house up off of them for a low amount. And then you can bring it to people that you know are investors. You can flip that house to them in a matter of 2 weeks, and you can make $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000, $50,000. Now, I summarized that in about 30 seconds. It sounds really simple, but as you know, with anything, especially with business, it's a lot of nuances and idiosyncrasies inside of that. And so you have to really do your own research, and you got to have the work ethic to do that shit. So anyways, I'm listening to him. I'm listening to everything that he's saying. And it became very evident to me that like this dude has had an opportunity to play offense. He might have set himself up and built it up, but he had an opportunity to play offense. So I start thinking like, how many people from my background get an opportunity to play offense? Like, so there's a neighborhood in Indianapolis called Carmel, and Carmel's like 98% white or something, and it gets voted every couple of months. It's like, every year is like the best place to live in the world, live in America. And when I'm driving through Carmel, I'm worried about, am I gonna get pulled over? Like, that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not thinking about, oh, there's some land over there. Oh, there's looks like a vacant house. I ain't thinking about none of that shit. I'm thinking about, am I going to get pulled over for some bullshit? Like, hell, one of my homeboys from college that was coaching, this is a national story, Jason Gardner. He was the head coach at IUPUI. I went to high school with him. Like, he got pulled over in Carmel. He was drunk, and essentially it's why he lost his job as a coach at IUPUI. Shout out to Jason. He going to end up back on his feet because Jason's a good dude, and he knows what he's doing. He's a good coach. But I just wanted to use that as an example. That's the stuff I'm thinking about. But if I was a white girl from Carmel, and I'm not trying to say this is all white people, but I've met a lot of white girls from Carmel, so this is a pretty accurate description. She might be able to drive down the street, not worry about getting pulled over. She might look like, oh, they closed that building over there? I kind of like this area. I should tell my dad that building closed. Like, I used to go there all the time when I was a kid. And she can go home and tell her daddy can go look into it, and he might be able to do what Max Maxwell was talking about, like get that building for the low, because the people that own the deed on that building might live in Miami. They might be like, shit, you want to buy it, man? She's going for 100, but man, we'll sell it to you for 60 if you just take it off our hands right now. You know what I mean? They're able to play offense. And now he pays 60 for something that's worth 100. He rehabilitates it, whatever, puts 20 and work into it. So now he's invested 80. But now, I mean, hell, Carmel, he waits till the article comes out for the next year, number one place to live, and he might turn to some apartments, and he might be able to sell that shit for 200. He put 80 into it and sold it for 200, got a $120,000 profit. All because his daughter is allowed to play offense. She's looking at the world from a different perspective because she's playing offense. While a nigga like me, I got to play defense. And when you're starting a business or like you're breaking the generational curse of poverty, that's the toughest thing, man. Or for me, it wasn't poverty. It's a generational curse of debt. That's the toughest thing is like I have to learn how to play offense when defense has been everything. Like I waited to have my daughter till I was 34. I'm still playing fucking defense. Like we got money put away, but do I have like a shit ton? Nah, I got enough. Like we would be good, but like I don't have what I think is enough. Like if something happened, not only will we not miss a beat with bills and all that stuff, we won't like. I will still have enough money where if an investment opportunity comes up or I want to roll something out in Group 82, like whatever, like I will still be able to put money up that I have away. I don't have enough of that yet. I'm still looking for offensive opportunities. I'm doing it within my business, but at the same time, I'm playing defense. And when you start talking about cultural differences, when you start talking about systemic racism and sexism and nepotism and classism, that's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference. Like when a nigga in the hood got to worry about if he gonna get robbed if he goes home, and I ain't have to worry about that when I was in school. I'm able to think and imagine about my dreams and about my life and develop plans. I'm able to be creative and put things into motion as opposed to the kid that was the same age as me. And he's worried about like, yo, I can't be imagining like what the future is going to be for me because I need to look at the right now and make sure nobody try to take my bag, don't nobody try to shoot me, don't nobody try to rob me, right? Even in that little instance, like I was able to play offense. Like when you're able to do that every single day from age 9 on, when those thoughts start coming in, when those adult thoughts start coming in about the future, by the time I get 18, I got 9 years of offensive imagination. So applying to college for me is second nature. Homeboy in the hood, he got 9 years of defensive imagination. Applying to college for him is like me now looking at that building and trying to invest. Like that's just such a far-fetched thing for me. That's how college is for him. That's what classism does. That's what all this legislation and these systemically blankest practices do. They enslave your mind. I know people don't like when we say slavery, but that ain't got nothing to do with race. There are a lot of white people out here who are enslaved mentally because of the conditions that they didn't choose to grow up in, and things continue to keep happening to their specific neighborhood for what reason they can't really figure out. And coincidentally or ironically, the government can't figure that shit out neither. Yet meth keeps coming into their neighborhood, right? Sex trafficking is huge in their neighborhood. Like bling rings and high-end theft and robbery keeps happening in their neighborhood. Right? I'm speaking to a lot of white people right now, like this is your reality. And yet the government just turned another cheek. Pedophilia is a big problem in your neighborhood. You think that's an accident? You think it's a coincidence? You think it's just people being bad seeds? It's not. It's not people being bad seeds. It's not what it is. What it is it's people. It's the system is set up like that. The system is set up so you are going to continue to be enslaved and dependent on them. That's how school is set up. So that's what they teach us. From the moment we come out the womb, man, we are dependent on outside forces. And It's different when you come out the womb, like it's your parents. Like, who cares? It's a good time, whatever. But when it's after your parents, then you're dependent on school. After school, you're dependent on a job and a boss. After you depend on a job and a boss, you depend on the government. After that, you depend on your kids. After that, you die. Like, they have set it up where we are dependent the entire time. So we're constantly going to be infighting. We're constantly going to be complaining, constantly going to be blaming other people. We're constantly going to be comparing because no one has been taught to take responsibility for their shit. It still baffles my mind that I took all those years of English and social studies and all that bullshit math, and they didn't force me to take one business class. And don't give me that econ shit. Don't give me that econ shit. That wasn't everyday business, man. The fact that like I was never exposed to business education at all for 13 years from kindergarten until 12th grade, and didn't get exposed to business education at all until I got to college, and I still had to choose that. Like, I got exposed to business through my homeboy Darren Chapman, at Darren Chapman on Instagram. Like, that's my nigga, that's my brother. Like, I love that nigga. And like, if it wasn't for him, man, I would have never ever learned anything about business. Like, he had the gift, right? And I had the gift, but he had to bring that shit out of me. He started pointing shit out. It's just common sense. Like, I'm talking to you right now. Like, I'm recording on this MXL microphone. MXL is a business. They make millions of dollars, right? This is a DR Pro mic stand. They make millions of dollars. I hope Focusrite. I know they make millions of dollars. That's the interface I'm using right now. We're recording this audio on a MacBook Pro. I'm using Logic Pro software. This is a Canon camera, right? Like, this is a Sunpack Travel Smart 50 tripod. All these companies are millions of dollars, like businesses all around me right now. I got 3 lights I'm using. Like, 2 of them are by the same company. Another one's by a different company, right? These are all millions of dollars, like Aveeno, right? My favorite lotion ever. And you can imagine why I have it up here by my computer. It gets real at night sometimes. But Aveeno, that's $1 million company. Might be billions. I don't know who they own by. Right now, kind of wondering. Aveeno, Johnson & Johnson, definitely. Distributed by Johnson & Johnson. So that's definitely like $1 billion company. And so, like, everything's a business. Everything is a business. And y'all didn't think to tell us that? Y'all didn't think to, like, that's not something we need to put into the education system? That's intentional, man. This is the backbone of this fucking country. It's the backbone of it. And y'all want to talk about that shit? Yeah, that's some bullshit. That's just flat out, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Like, why are y'all doing that to your kids? Why are y'all doing this to the future? Because they want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us controlled. It's a lot easier to control people when they have a uniform thought as opposed to a bunch of creative thoughts. On top of that, too, like, you ever think about these companies like Johnson & Johnson? It's just something we just say. Like Ford, it's just something we just say, right? I'm trying to think of like another one. AT&T, right? It's just something we just say. Johnson & Johnson, those are names. They're named after people. Go look it up. Go look up the history. Ford, obviously a lot of y'all probably know that. Henry Ford is named after a person. AT&T, you know who that was started by? Alexander Graham Bell. You know what he did? He invented the fucking telephone. His company, where he invented telephone, is still around to this day. You talk about old money. Like I said, it's been the backbone of this country, business. Yet they don't want to talk about that. So it's just crazy. Coming back, man, I'm gonna talk about cocaine and probably go into a little bit deeper about Johnson & Johnson, things that are named after people when we don't pay attention. So we're gonna take a break right there. Give y'all an ad. I know y'all heard me talk about this before, and I'm gonna keep just drilling in y'all head. If you do not have a website in 2020 for your business, you are out here absolutely losing. You can't be homeless. You can't be homeless in 2020. You got to have a website. And that's the main reason that we build websites at group82music.com. It's the main reason that I've been talking about that. It's the main reason that's in our ebook, How to Get 1 Million Streams on Spotify, because that is the foundation for everything. It's where you're going to make the most money. You're not going to make the most money just freelancing on social media, right? that social media is not your home. You don't own that. Your website is your home. So if you want to make money from your business, you need to have a website. And we build websites for all businesses, just not music websites. We build websites for realtors, for fitness people, for journalists, for anybody. Anything that you do, we can build a website at group82music.com. So go to our website. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to give y'all a discount code. If you want to purchase a website, type in 82POV. That's a discount code, 82POV. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you 25% off that motherfucker. That's crazy. I ain't never did that. I literally just thought about that right now. So 82POV, 82POV, get 25% off a website, and a website only right now. Out the pond. Y'all stay true. I like doing ads like that. I like doing ads, and it's a little different. You don't really hear ads like that in a lot of podcasts. A lot of people don't want to advertise their stuff. But that goes back to what I was saying, though. Like, a lot of people don't have their own businesses. They might just have a podcast for the hell of it to push people to social media, as opposed to actually selling products. And in Group A2, we do sell products. So I like doing ads like that. And it was off the cuff. Literally just thought about, like, giving y'all 25% off when I am. So, but going back to what I was saying about things are named after people. Like, how many of y'all went to a high school that was named after a person? Like, if you're from LA, you might have went to Dorsey High School. If you're from Chicago, you might have went to King High School. Like, you might have went to these high schools that are named. Like in Dayton, Ohio, there was a high school called Colonel White. How many of y'all actually know the people that you went to a high school that was named after somebody? Like, it's just something that's just a part of our identity, but we never talk about that. We never really go into detail and research. Like, my high school named North Central. That's a fucking direction. So it really wasn't named after nobody. But that is what I'm trying to do, man. Like, I'm trying to have a legacy. I'm trying to leave that behind. Like, I want the Dorian school, or I want Clark school, or I want something like that. Like, I want my name, our name, to mean something when I'm no longer here. And that goes back to what I was saying about these companies that are named after people and all the things that they've been doing. It's like, that is old money. That I don't want to go into like some Illuminati. That's the people that control everything. But when you have money, you do have power. And so that is a goal of what you need to be looking to do if you're an entrepreneur, or just if you want to achieve anything, or even if you're just listening to this, you might not want to do that. That's perfectly fine. I talked about that earlier. But you just need to understand that none of this stuff's happenstance, right? Like, there is a system that's in place that's going to continue to feed those that are at the top. And if you're not at the top, it's going to be things you don't want to do that you're going to have to do in order to survive. But just be conscious of that. And the fact that school didn't teach me that, it's just, I mean, that is just a complete waste, and it's crazy. Going back to what I was saying about cocaine. That was like a weak ass segue and transition, but y'all niggas get it. So, like, when I was growing up, man, like, dare was a big thing. Like, using drugs was fucking lame. Like, I just wasn't what motherfuckers wanted to do. Like, you might smoke weed or whatever, but people that was, like, dropping acid and taking shrooms was crazy. And then people that snorted coke was just out of their mind. And, like, motherfuckers that smoked crack or heroin, like, yo, you for real had a problem. And so, like, I didn't grow up in this era of, like, where niggas was using drugs like that. Like, niggas was just like selling drugs. Like, that was like the main thing everybody wanted to do. And the way things are now is just like using drugs is just cool. It's just so open. And I was watching Hip Hop Evolution, which is by far the best documentary that's ever been done about hip hop. Like, dude, I think his name is Shad, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's done a fucking outstanding job, and he's an artist himself, man. I hope we get a chance to interview him one day. That would be a perfect guest to have on this podcast. But, like, go tag him. I can't think of his Instagram. It might just be @Shad, maybe, or it might be something more. I don't fucking know. But if you type in Hip Hop Evolution Shad in Google, it'll bring up his Instagram. Go there, tag him, let him know that I sent you. And I would love to get him on here. He's a Canadian rapper, and he does a fucking great job with Hip Hop Evolution documentary. And he did an episode about 3-6, about Memphis. And he had DJ Paul on there. And DJ Paul was talking, and he was just going through, like, talking about everything and how they became, like, 3-6 Mafia, and they were really into horror movies and witchcraft and all that fucking devilish ass shit, which I was in denial. That's what it was about when I was younger. But obviously, them niggas is crazy, even though the music fucking knocked. I love that shit. But he was just talking about how much cocaine he used back then. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is like late 90s, early 2000s. Like, this nigga was just openly admitting to that shit. Like, you using coke? And I was just thinking, like, once I got older, how many motherfuckers really use cocaine? Like, it's a lot of people that use cocaine. Like, I remember reading something about Bruno Mars, and he got arrested for like possession of cocaine. It's just like, what is? I don't understand that shit. Like, alcohol, like, I get it. And alcohol isn't even the most pleasant thing, but I get it. Celebratory, takes the edge off a little bit. I get it. Weed, I didn't really get it until I got older. And now that I'm older, like, I really understand the aspect of weed and what it does. It's actually a better alternative than alcohol. And I get it. But coke, man, like, you just want to be out of your fucking mind. You just want to be hot. You just want to be super hyperactive. You just want to, what it does to your body, man, what it does to your heart, what it does to your endocrine system. It just doesn't make any sense to use that shit. Like, that's just not something I'm not into at all. And just the amount of people that do that shit consistently, it's fucking crazy. And it's almost like some people look at that shit, like, I know people that use it like consistently, and they look at it as like, you lame if you don't do it. Like, anybody does coke. It's like, bro, that's just not. There's no correlation between doing cocaine and being successful, nigga. Like, ain't no correlation to that. You just making that shit up to make yourself feel better. Like, that's just some corny ass follower ass shit. And I usually say, like, yo, if you want to do what you want to do, okay, do it. Like, you want to snort coke. That's usually something I would say, but that doesn't apply here. Bro, it's fucking coke, man. Like, why are you doing that shit? Like, I ain't never sat down and had a legit conversation with somebody high off coke that was just so enlightening, or like they were doing something that's maybe like, you know what, man, that drug is really enhancing their personality. Like, coke is making them a much more pleasant person than when they not on coke. Like, the fuck, nigga? Like, I just don't understand that shit. Like, a lot of you niggas out here just running from shit. Y'all running from shit. And y'all trying to fill that void with some sort of substance, man. And I know everybody got their vices. Everybody got their vices, man. Whether it's coke, whether it's weed, whether it's alcohol, whether it's money, whether it's food or working out or pussy or whatever it is. Everybody got their vice, man. I get it. But goddamn, coke. Like people that do heroin, I feel like heroin is somebody that they have an addictive personality. Like, they have a substance addiction problem. And they did it, and they got hooked, and their body got dependent on it, right? I feel really bad for people that are hooked on heroin, right? I feel like a lot of motherfuckers that try coke, man, they just trying to be cool. They on some poser. They on some LA shit. Like, y'all see my video on Instagram, Wild Left LA. They on some LA shit. Like, that's like, I live in LA, I need to do coke. Like, there's just no correlation. And it makes you think, like, at what point do we get that weak-minded? Like, I look at my daughter, man. She's 7 months now. I just look at, like, she just does what she wants to do, how she wants to do it, when she wants to do it. She don't give a shit what her dad thinks. She don't give a shit what her mama thinks, what her grandmamas think, what her uncle thinks, what her aunts think. She don't give a fuck. She don't care. She don't care. She does what she wants to do. At what point, man, do we like start caring so much that we will put our health and our body in danger because of other people's opinions? Like, at what point? And how does it happen? More importantly, how do we prevent that from happening in our kids or us in future behavior? Or is that the natural evolution of humans? Like, are we supposed to do that? Put ourselves in harm's way because that will help the human race evolve? Like, if you think about it, like, rubbing alcohol has helped stop people from getting infections, which has saved some lives. But the first couple of niggas that use rubbing alcohol probably burned their fucking skin off. Some niggas probably died like thinking, okay, shit, I can put that shit in my on my arm, but let me drink that shit. Like, oh shit, you can't drink this shit. Like, that nigga no longer here. Like, he was the martyr for our evolution. So is that why humans do shit like that? Is it innately in us? Or is it just on some like clout chasing shit? I really want to hear y'all opinions on that. Like, write in the comments, man, wherever you watching this or listen to this right now. Like, even if you just listen to it on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, like, go to my Instagram right now at Dorian Group 82. I really want to hear what y'all think about that. Like, do we put our bodies in harm's way for our own gain? Or is this something that's is it a genetic predisposition for human evolution? Like, you think about, like, somebody had to look at some cow's titties and be like, you know what? I don't want the cows to drink all that milk. I want to drink that milk. And he went and sucked the cow titty, right? And it probably made him sick. But eventually they had to figure that shit out, right? So it's just same with alcohol and these drugs, right? Like, somebody did too much coke the very first time when they were mixing the batch, and that nigga's no longer here. It's fucking crazy, man. I was thinking about that too with hip hop. I was thinking about that with black culture, going back to Will Smith and Sway. And they were talking about how, like, the mid-90s, Wills has been on record saying this, how the Bad Boys movie, the original Bad Boys, was supposed to be Dana Carvey and John Lovitz. And for those y'all don't know who they are, like, Dana Carvey was on Saturday Night Live. He was the preacher lady. He was the blonde dude in Wayne's World. Like, he did all that. Like, if you've seen his face, you would know what I'm talking about. And John Lovitz is kind of like this porky dude with that, like, that's how he kind of talk. And he was in A League of Their Own, and he was in some other shit, like, kind of a funny dude. Oh, he had a cartoon called The Critic, which is quietly like one of the most underrated cartoons of all time. You know what? I want some Critic merch now. Like, I need to go find a t-shirt for The Critic. One of the most underrated cartoons of all time. It stinks. Like, and but going back to it, Bad Boys just would have been fucking terrible if they had. It would have been like a buddy cop, just corny ass movie. And so it got to Martin Lawrence got to his lap. And at the time, like, I want y'all to remember, for those of y'all that are Generation Z or whatever the fuck y'all calling yourselves, the niggas that eat Tide Pods. I hate to be a generationalist, but that's just some dumbass shit. Y'all motherfuckers eating Tide Pods, and y'all are lame, man. Anyways, so, like, Martin at the time was a massive fucking star. Like, I'm trying to think who he would become. He was like Kevin Hart. That's who Martin was at that time. And Kevin Hart's the biggest, like, comedian ever, I feel like, as far as movie stardom. But that's who Martin was. If there was anybody comparable, that's who he was at that time. And so that's why that movie came to him. Like, a Dana Carvey, John Lovitz picture was attached to Martin. I mean, it ended up coming to Martin. And Martin was like, yeah, this is cool. But his sister was like, yo, you should get Will Smith to do it. And Martin and Will hadn't met. But at the time, Martin had Martin on Fox, his show, and The Fresh Prince is out on NBC. And so they had a meeting, and they chemistry, whoop-de-whoop, and it worked out. But they were saying, like, at that time, Hollywood did not think that having two black male leads in a blockbuster would work. Like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in Bad Boys. They just did not think that audiences would connect with the movie enough to go see it. Even though both of these men had two of the most successful sitcoms out at that moment, and now we're looking back on the hindsight's 2020 legendary classic sitcoms, they both had, like, they weren't just sitcom actors, right? Martin had a stand-up act. Will was a rapper, and he had done other movies and stuff. Nothing big yet, but the fact that they thought that wouldn't work is just crazy because it was black. And it had hip-hop in it, like a hip-hop culture. And then you fast forward and you look at hip-hop now. It's just, you look at black culture now. It's everywhere. I mean, the amount of non-black people that are coming into hip-hop culture trying to be purveyors is insane. It's insane. We got perverts purveying the culture. Like, I mean, the amount, going back to Generation Z, the amount of young white dudes in Generation Z that think they can tell me what hip-hop is just, it's laughable. And I'm not talking about the music. I'm just talking about the culture. Like, my nigga, like, You're an outsider looking in. I don't care how much music you listen to. I don't care where you grew up. Like, you're an outsider looking in, which is okay. But bro, like, this shit was I was born into this shit. Every black person is born into hip hop, especially if you were born in the fucking 80s. We were born into this shit. Like, we had to opt out of it. So even if we were just neutral, just sitting around, we were born into hip hop culture. Social media is just now making everything that black people do is putting on notice. How we talk, our shorthand conversations. Like, I remember like when Black Thanksgiving would be a huge meme a couple of like Thanksgivings ago, and like everybody had the exact same experience on all their Black Thanksgivings across the country, and none of us knew each other. Like, we all had like the cousins that would come over and leave and go smoke. We all had aunts that would look a certain way. We all had aunts whose food we didn't touch. We all had like the door, for some reason on Thanksgiving, like since people were coming in and out of the house, like the door's kind of open, but the screen door's locked. You know what I mean? And it's a little cold, but it's not cold because it's hot and it's cooking in the house and got plastic on the furniture. So it's like, it's just black culture. It's hip hop culture. Like, we was all born into that shit. Like, I didn't have to choose and look any of that shit up. This is who I am. This is who I was growing up. And the fact that outsiders think they can tell us now because it's $1 $1 trillion industry. And when you start talking about impressions and influence, they think they can tell us what it is. It's just crazy. It's fucking insane. Like, it's like me going and becoming like this amazing taco chef. Like, I'm just like a motherfucker that goes to studies and like some remote town in Mexico and studies the history of the taco, and I grow all my own herbs, and I pick the shit, and I kill all my own chickens, and I kill all my own cows. I make my shells, my tortillas from scratch, and I'm kneading the dough, and I'm doing all that shit, and like, I become this amazing fucking taco chef. Like, I'm winning all them little douchey ass awards that the chefs be winning and shit. Like, I still would not be able to tell a Mexican what a real taco is. I can't tell you that. That's his culture. That's her culture. But for some reason with black people shit, they feel like they can tell us. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy it, man. You don't own it. We do. And that's the problem with the music industry right now. That's where the source of contention is coming with independent artists right now. That's the issue. There's a huge issue going on with independent black artists are being told by white purveyors of the country, of the culture, what works in hip hop and what doesn't. Like, going back to hip hop evolution, I start thinking like with Sway and hip hop evolution, what was the breaking point? Like, what, because you're talking about mid-90s with Martin and Will being the leads in Bad Boys in 1995. They didn't want to do that. What was the breaking point when it was like, you know what, this is okay. We need to have black people. Black people run it when it comes to entertainment. Like, what year, what happened? Was it when Denzel and Halle won Best Actor and Best Actress? Like, what was it? Was it Jay-Z retiring and coming back? And was it when Beyonce went solo? Was it, what happened? There had to be, somebody needs to do a documentary on that, right? Somebody needs to do a documentary on new black history, on new black culture, and celebrate all of our black history, civil rights leaders now, like a Jay-Z, right? Like Kanye. You can say what you want. Kanye's pushed black culture forward like no one else alive. Like LeBron James, like Beyonce, like Robert Smith, right? Even though she's been tripping lately, like Oprah, like somebody needs to do that. And we need to figure out, was it the year 2004 where all the number one songs in the Billboard Hot 100 were all by black artists? When was the breaking point where they were like, you know what? We need to have black people. And why do people feel like they can take ownership of it now? Why do they feel like they can tell us now? Like, what's going to work and what's not. Like, Roddy Ricch right now has the number one song in the country, The Box. That motherfucker slaps. He beat Bieber. There's no way this happened 10 years ago. No way. He beat Bieber. Like, they both dropped, like, Bieber's fans are crazy. Roddy Ricch went number one. He's beating Selena Gomez. Like, these are two massive pop stars. And Roddy Ricch, new dude on the scene. He has the number one song and it's staying there. When you go back and look at the history of music, like Back That Ass Up by Juvie, That's one of the greatest songs in the history of music. It's definitely one of the greatest rap songs ever. It's definitely one of the greatest dance songs ever. I was looking at it and I was just thinking, like, had that song came out in the streaming era, it would have had an Old Town Road like run. You think about the memes, the videos, the amount of like people that would have been doing shit to the intro to that record. Like, that record was made for TikTok. Cash Money taking over for the 99 and 2000 with them strings. Like, that song was made for TikTok. What would have happened? How long would it stay number one? You know what it charted? I had to go look it up. As big and as massive as that song was, and I was in high school when it dropped. Like, it was the biggest song of our high school years. It came out my sophomore year. There wasn't a bigger song. It lasted. No song had the longevity like Back That Ass Up. It charted number 19. That's the highest it got. Jim Jones, We Fly High. No lie. You know that. Ballin'. Like, I think that got to like number 6. That was a massive record. Like, it's just amazing now what we do is now being fully embraced to the point where it gets to accolades, right? Like, these were massive songs. These were massive moments of culture. Like, when Wipe Me Down came out, like, Wipe Me Down was a massive moment in the culture. Like, I pull up at the club, VIP, gas tank on E and all drink. Like, I just said that, and y'all finished the lyrics for me. It's a massive record, bro. Like, I think that motherfucker probably got to like number 36, if it even made top 40. Now, that would be number one song in the country, no question. Shoulders, chest, pants, shoes. Like, it would be number one. Memes everywhere. That's what social media has done. That's what streaming has done. It has allowed the underground to be mainstream. Because those people in the offices, they don't know shit. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about the culture. They don't know nothing about us. They think they know, but they don't, because you don't live it. You weren't born into it. Going back to my analogy about the tacos. I could go live in Mexico for the next 40 years. I'm not going to know tacos like somebody who's a Mexican and grew up in Mexican culture. I'm just not going to know. Why do y'all keep trying to take our shit from us? Like, what if black people done this so wrong that y'all keep trying to take our culture from us? I know some of y'all thinking right now, like, damn, this nigga on a race tangent. Like, listen, this is who I am, man. Like, you don't like it, don't listen. Like, everybody else is allowed to celebrate and hold on to their culture, but our shit needs to be shared and perverted and then told what's right and what's wrong. I do get it. I know what it is, because that's what's been happening to us since we got thrown on that fucking boat. They stripped us of everything, and they give us a little bit, and then we take that little bit and we turn it into something great. And they see niggas doing something great, and then they fucking take it from us again. Then they give us a little bit of something else, and we do something great with that, and they make money off of it. And they take it, and they give us something else. It's a fucking cycle. The shit gotta stop. Like, it's funny, like barbershop quartets, like where you see 4 white dudes and they're all in the pinstripes, the candy stripes, and they got the top hats and do 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 do, like they're all singing together in unison, doing them whole ass dance moves. Like, I thought that was a white person thing. When I looked at the history of that, black people started that shit, and a white dude saw it. He just commercialized it and made money off of it. And like, now barbershop quartets, barbershop music became a thing. And I should have known that. Like, I should have known that. Like, who else gonna sing in a barbershop? Like, white dudes or niggas? Like, who's more likely to bust out and just start singing in the barbershop, man? Gotta protect our shit. We absolutely gotta protect our shit. And like I said, that doesn't mean that if you're not black, you can't enjoy it. That doesn't mean if you're not black, you can't contribute to it, right? We've seen that. But you don't own this shit, man. Stop trying to tell black people what's cool, what's not, what's real rap and what's not. You don't fucking know. You ain't lived this shit. You don't know, man. You don't know. You don't know. Shit's super annoying, man. But, you know, we live in America and majority isn't you. Stuff you got to deal with. Stuff you got to deal with. Got to deal with perceptions. Got to deal with misconceptions. Got to deal with stereotypes. Got to deal with discrimination. You got to deal with all that, man. And it's frustrating. It's annoying. But at the same time, it allows us to galvanize together and create things like we have, right? And that's why, like, I'm so loyal to my culture. And that's why, like, I fucking love this shit. Like, I never thought that hip-hop would be the backbone for what I do in my life. But it is. Like, you look behind me, like, you see all this shit behind me is because of rap. All of it. You know what I mean? Like, the reason I'm doing this podcast now is because of rap. Because of hip-hop. Because of the culture that I grew up in. Like, it's feeding my family. It's nothing more beautiful than that. So even, like, when I have weeks like this where it's just like, shit, need to get some sales, nigga. God damn. Like, there's nothing more beautiful than knowing that I'm living in my truth and I'm living in my culture and it's financing my family. I think everybody should experience that, man. I think everybody should experience, like, being truly themselves and being able to just live off of that. It's so fucked up that we got to put on this facade, that we got to put on this mask in order to survive. Got to wear suits we don't want to wear. Got to talk a way we don't want to talk. We got to shake hands like we don't even like fucking shaking hands, man. Like, think about that, dog. Like, if you go to a business meeting or a meeting with somebody who's in that fucking business facade ass bullshit, you shake their hand like you shake your homeboy hand, they gonna think you unprofessional. That's gonna cost you money. Like, nigga, I can't even be myself with the motherfucking handshake. Like, some of y'all listen to this right now, y'all can't grow a beard wherever you work. Some of you niggas can't grow beards, period. But you can't even grow a beard wherever you work. Like, you can't wear your hair however you want it, wherever you work. Like, some ladies listen to this right now, you can't get your nails done like you want to wherever you work. The fact that we can't even be ourselves because it's going to affect our livelihood, that is a fucked up, sick ass thought. They control us that much and mask it with the term professionalism. It's gas, man. Y'all just gassing us. I don't know about y'all, man, but I got sick of it. That's why I started a business, right? And like I said, the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, it doesn't compare to when I had to wake up every single day and go somewhere that I hated and work with people I didn't want to be around and talk a way I didn't want to talk and dress a way I didn't want to dress. I couldn't even listen to, like, the music I want to listen to. When, well, you can listen to music while you work. No, I can't. No, don't tell me that. I can't listen to music while I work, right? Fucking Tyler over there, he can listen to shit he wants to listen to while he works, right? Sarah can listen to the shit she wants to listen to while she works. Y'all don't want me to play the shit I listen to. It's going to be nigga everything over here. Nigga. Shout out Trinidad James. I like this shit. I like this solo podcast shit. Y'all dope audience, man. I don't even know if any of you niggas really listen like that, but shit's cool, man. It was episode 15. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. I'm going to try to pump out some more. Go to our website, man, group82music.com. Like I talked about, you need a website, logo, Spotify promotion, buy a package. Like I talked to y'all about, we need to get sales, but we're about to run some more ads. That's nothing. I haven't been running a lot of ads. I'll probably talk about that next episode about Facebook and Instagram ads. I think a lot of y'all want to know about that. So, but do that, man. A lot of y'all need, like, bare minimum. No matter what you do, you need a website. So go, like I said, get that discount code 82POV. You get 25% off. I'm literally going to set that up as soon as we get off this podcast. In addition to that, man, anything you want me to talk about, go to Instagram at Dorian Group 82 on Instagram. Let me know. I'm open to topics. I absolutely want to talk about the stuff that y'all want to talk about. I'm going to start taking questions. Start having people call in so we really can listen. I want to respond and I want this to be more open and more conversational. All those people I told you to tag, that I told you to listen to, go tag Shad from Hip Hop Evolution, tag at Dorian Group 82 in there, tell him I sent you. Go tag Max Maxwell, Dorian Group 82, tell him I sent you. Earn Your Leisure on Instagram, tag at Dorian Group 82, tell them that I sent you. Go do all that, man, because that's how stuff grows. They see I have an audience. They see that y'all really fucking with me, y'all rocking with me, and that's how we're able to grow. We're able to do things, and one day I'll be able to tour like I want to and meet all of y'all, man, especially the day one Periscope folks. So I'm out the bond. Y'all stay true.
Group82music.com.